gorgeous people. You see the title of the video. Before we get into it, I'm going to answer a question which I got from one of my subscribers. They asked, why have my content changed so much? Because I've changed. And that's the whole truth. I have changed so much. And so I don't feel like this video, I want to go into the depths of it, but a lot about me have changed, and a lot about my life has also changed. A lot about me have changed, and a lot about my life has also changed. And I think that should be dedicated in a whole video by itself. But for now, I've changed. And whatever flows out of the heart is what is in it, okay? And so I feel like right now I'm dedicated to helping women, men, mostly women, to just really truly know who they are, love who they are, and choose wisely, identify, red flags in themselves and in others, so that they can have healthier relationship with themselves first, so that they can have a healthier relationships outside of themselves. If you do not know, I have studied psychology, health psychology, and at the moment I am a trainee psychotherapist while completing my master's in cognitive behavior therapy. So as you see my content evolve, just bear in mind I am also changing. I'm also evolving. And if I wasn't, I would be worried. If you aren't, I'll be worried, because we are aging, growing, maturing people, and age does not equal maturity, but maturity and growing should be very intentional. And if you watch me, you know I'm very intentional. I learn from my mistakes. I share my mistakes very openly. And I share what I know or what I'm learning. So we have to understand that whatever relationships we get into, especially if we get into these relationships without healing, without doing the internal work, without going to therapy, going to see a psychotherapist to really undo a lot of the trauma, or at least tend to work towards the traumas that we have been through as children, as adolescents, and as adults. We find ourselves going through a cycle. If we really sit back and we become aware of what we are dealing with daily in our relationships with ourselves, with others, realize that we are in a cycle that we were in as children, as adolescents, and now we're just repeating that cycle. And so you may realize that a lot of us, we are loyal to the T, to others, situation, people, things, places that does not serve us. It's actually harmful to us. If you really pay attention to yourself and your behavior, whether it's relationship with food, alcohol, drugs, whether it's relationship with a person, with work, your career, with your thinking, with yourself, with your emotions, you will realize that you are loyal to the T, to something or someone or a location, a place, a substance that is against you. Let's look at relationships. Sometimes we find ourselves in relationships that is so harmful to us, and we can stay in this for years, and all we're doing is going through the traumas and the pain that we are used to from childhood. And so we are loyal to a relationship where we are consistently lied to. We are loyal to a relationship where we are consistently deceived, where there's no attempt to change of behavior. We're loyal to a relationship where we are consistently stabbed in the back, betrayed. This person can just give you every time, list by list, the harmfulest things they can do to you, and you are loyal to them. Now think about this. You are loyal to someone who's loyal to hurting you. Think about that. Fine. You're in a relationship. Someone is hurting you, but your goal is to make sure that you keep this person happy, you keep this person at ease. You don't want to cause this person to lose their self, lose their shit against you. So your intentions waking up every day, laser focus on pleasing the person who's harming you. Just let that sink in for a minute. When you really think about it, and when I really had to step back and think about it, I was loyal to harming me. I was loyal to deceiving me. I was loyal to lying to me. I was loyal to that. And if you look at your life, you realize a lot of you are loyal. You're loyal to hurt. You're loyal to pain based on your choices. And this is otherwise called trauma bond. You are in a bond that is consistently causing you trauma on top of the traumas that you were already inflicted from childhood. You already inflicted from adolescence. You already inflicted from the previous relationships. A lot of us, we love confusion. We love chaos. We love trauma. We love problems. We love pain. We love tears. We are loyal to the emotional highs. And when life becomes like this for any reason, we think something's wrong, even though this is how your life should be. Calm, peaceful, quiet. But we don't have it. And we're loyal to that. And we can get to a place where I was definitely there. And when I do listen to my clients, I can see them there as well. We can get to a place where we are constantly blaming everything outside of us. We're blaming our partner, our husband, our wives. We're blaming our work, our career, our finances. And we never seem to really come to a place where we realize it's a me thing unless you really dive within yourself. You really go on that search on why things are the way they are in your life. What can you do to solve these problems other than blaming? When you really go on the search, you realize I'm the one who's doing this. I'm the one who's staying in this. I'm the one who's reacting. I'm the one who's thinking this way. And not to say blame, because sometimes we are so ignorant, right? We are so lost. We are so naive that you're not wrong for being honest. You're not wrong for opening your heart. You're not wrong to want to love, but you are so vulnerable and so unaware of not everyone is like you. Not everyone's given like you. Not everyone's loving like you. And so what we do, we find ourselves in positions where we are being manipulated. We're being gaslighted, deceived, lied to. We're being used up by someone whose intentions or behaviors towards us are not good. And I want to believe that some people are just moving out of being unaware. But then we are adults. We're grown. We need to take care of and we need to take responsibility of whatever we're doing. And here's the thing about staying in these situations where you are constantly being hurt or you're in a trauma where you are being traumatized daily is someone traumatizing you and you being traumatized are two different experiences. So the one who's doing the traumatizing is not going to experience the same things as the one being traumatized. And so the healing journey is going to be different. The pain is going to be different. The response is going to be different. The one being doing the traumatizing is going to look at you like, why are you mad? You've been taking this from me for years. Why is it a problem now? Especially when you are coming into the awareness that something's wrong. This ain't right. I don't like this. And you start working and doing the change, the person who's harming you and yourself is not going to like the change. Because it's going to cause a different person to come forth, a different mindset, a different way of thinking and believing, a different way of perception and seeing things. We look at trauma bonding, this is what we see. We see someone trying to please someone else. They're trying to make sure that they do not set them off. They don't get them angry. They don't get them worried. They don't get them anxious. And this cycle, one is on eggshell, one is the dominator, and there's a cycle. And it's not all ugly, right? There's this cycle of one being afraid and one dominating, whether verbally, physically, financially, right? Socially, emotionally, psychologically, one dominating, one being abusive, one lashing out. There's a honeymoon period. There's laughter, there's joy, there's goodness, there's happiness. Only for the cycle to start all over again. We had a great time, but now I'm on eggshell again. I don't want him to get upset. I don't want him to get angry. I don't want him to punish me with his silence. I don't want him to punish me with his fists. Then there's a punishment, and then it starts all over again. And we are loyal to this. And so this shows me that we don't know what to be loyal to. We don't know what to walk away from. Our dysfunction has become our norm. And here's the thing, we think we're in love. We think it's passionate. We think it's good. We think it's all rosy. But when we step back and we see the cycle, that, oh, I'm on edge. Don't want to set him off. We can't communicate. We can't solve conflict. To a verbal or emotional or psychological or physical sexual abuse, to, oh, we're at a honeymoon again. Just step back. Step back and see the dysfunction for what it is. Because until we realize that something about this setup is wrong, something about this setup is not working for us, something about this is unhealthy, something about this is abnormal, and we have made the dysfunction become normal, and until we realize it and we choose to be intentional about doing the work, therapy, self-development, mentorship, talk about that. If you want one-to-one with me, the link and the email is below this video. And on my other videos, you will find an email or a link that you can book sessions with me. Just think about this. Just think about this until you choose that, hey, I need to do the work. I need to stop this cycle. If not for myself, for my children. If not for my children, my family. But you have to want this change. No one can do it for you. I remember there was a time where I too thought someone would come and save me. I too thought that someone will come and my life will be sorted out. Only to wake up to realize I have to do the work. I have to save myself. I have to do the work. I have to become healthier. I have to do the work. I have to become emotional aware, abuse aware, freedom aware, financial these things so that I can give them to myself. Love aware. What is love? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Because a lot of the things that we think we are experiencing, that is love, is really not love, is hatred, is dislike, far from love, far from kindness. And sometimes we are confused because we get a mixture of both. You're not going to go to a lake that's supposed to have fresh water in it and get salted water. You're not going to go to an apple tree and get orange. So when people's like, oh, I'm not perfect, we're not talking about perfection. Are you a liar or a truth giver? Are you a deceiver or a plain person? Are you an honest person? Are you a man or a boy? Are you a woman or a child? Like, what are you? You can't be both. You can't. Are you immature or mature? Are you going to own your shit or not? So if you look at your life, you can see that some of us are codependent on what is not good for us. We're codependent on people, things, and places, situations, emotions. That's not good for us. Thoughts, that's not good for us. And we think that we're thriving, but you gotta come to a realization that you are not thriving. You are just surviving. You're struggling, and we don't want that. We want to thrive in our emotions. We want to thrive in our peace. We want to thrive in consistently being in a place of love and kindness in ourselves and around others. The end goal is to be loyal to you, to change, to doing the work. The end goal is to recognize where you've gone wrong and how you can correct this. The end goal is for you to change your life. And the only way you can do that is by working on yourself. Can you get to a place where your mindset towards you is stronger than your emotions? Because we can be so emotionally involved in someone that we allow them to treat us anyhow, and we allow ourselves to go into so much unhealthy habits and roller coasters, and we are unable to be logical about the situation. Can you get to a place where you can set boundaries and have empathy? Because love is love regardless of how it looks, right? It can look toxic, it can look healthy. At the end of the day, we're experiencing what we're experiencing. But can you set a boundary? Feel for this person, have empathy for them, love them, but stand on it. Because this ain't working. It's not healthy. It's not going anywhere. Your life and really, really look at your life. And if you can, just take a week and look at your life. Can you make and arrange things and get there? How's your time? These are things I had to work on. These are things I'm still working on. How's your time? Can you commit? Do you have some form of routine or ritual in your life? Or is there constant rush, constant chaos, constant lack? Right? Do you have your basics, your necessities? And here's the crazy things. A lot of us rush into relationships and we don't even have our basics, our mental health, our emotional well-being, financially, career, income, a house, food, just the basics, just to have peace, stability, content within ourselves. And so we find ourselves in a relationship and attached to people, not that we want them in our life, but that we need them. If I don't have you, I don't have a home. If I don't have you, I don't have an income. If I don't have you, my emotional needs aren't met. I'm not validated. And so if you can get to a place where you can have those things for yourself, create that for yourself, live that life for yourself, then you can get to a place where you can be healthy to choose, do I want this or don't I? Is this good for me or is it not? Do I need help or is it them? Get to a place where you can walk away if necessary. Get to a place where you are content in yourself. Get to a place where no one outside of you is giving you happiness. That's what you're relying on. I'm relying on you to affirm me. I'm relying on you to validate me. I'm relying on you for finances, for house. Get to a place where you can rely on yourself, where you can depend on yourself. A lot of us, we are in adult bodies, but we were never taught to be adults. Never. Right now, I'm reading this book with my children. So I'm reading a few books with my kids, but this is the one that we're reading right now. And let me tell you, my 15-year-old daughter is eating that up. She's also eating up the father-daughter talk. And the gems that she's getting at 15, I was not able to get until my late 20s, 29, 30s. And to be able to sit down with her and say, hey, I didn't have this. And I made a lot of goofy, unnecessary mistakes. And if you can just fill yourself with a lot of knowledge and information, you have a lot of options to you. Where I only had the options of what I saw around me. And so, you might be older than my daughter, you might be older than me, you might be the similar age of me. If you can fill yourself with the knowledge that you need and the steps that you need to take and do the work, yes, hard, yes, painful. Oh my God, the inner work is hard. It is painful to change bad behaviors, to change mindsets that have not done much good. To change these things is not easy. But in the long run, it is worth every pain, every tear, every heartache. And if I can leave you with that, do the work to see the change. I no longer tell people to leave. I say you will leave when you've done the work or while you're doing the work. Because the healthier you get in your mind, in your heart, in yourself, in your being, you cannot stay in an unhealthy place. If you are staying, you yourself is not healthy. And that's how it is. If you are in an unhealthy place, you yourself is unhealthy. And it's a hard reality to realize. It's a hard thing. But as soon as you start doing the work, you cannot stay. You cannot. I promise you. If you like one-to-one sessions with me, you can book with my link below, or you can email me. Speak soon. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe.